Konami Studios.
So guess who keeps getting chances? Yeah, that's right. Zack Snyder. Let's not get into it. There's so much we could say about this guy. Probably the most divisive / polarizing director, creator of our time. It's safe to say that. Let's not get into that side of things. Instead, let's get into the minutia that is Army of the Dead. So, Netflix deal comes around for everyone, apparently. And they're going to turn this into a franchise. So, Las Vegas Zombies. There's your premise. Dave Bautista. There's your other premise. This movie, it's a mess, and I don't mean that in a good way, because I think there's a good way to make a mess, and that's what I wanted this to be. I wanted this to be like a good kind of mess. My hope was this is going to be a lot like Sharknado, and that's what I wanted, because Sharknado is a great kind of mess. This was just everything could be good, but it missed the mark. You know, Zack Snyder, going back to the realm of zombies, it makes sense to me that you do that, but you just kind of like bogged down everything with a lot of stuff that doesn't really work. The symbolism you love from your Zack Snyder films, they are here in spades, and it doesn't make any sense to me why these are the symbolistic choices you go to. It's just weird. I don't want to get into like the symbolism stuff because it's annoying and pretentious and stupid, and nobody who likes these movies really thinks it's that well done. It's just like, really? You're going to play the song Zombies from the Cranberries at the end of your movie, and it's like, that song's not about zombies, man. It's not about zombies. It's literally about, like, death and war and stuff. It's weird that you went that way. But whatever, man. You do you. It's like, okay, here's a group of people. It's a heist film in the zombie apocalypse, and we are getting $200 million out of a vault in Vegas, and we're going to do it before the zombies kill us. Cool. That makes sense. That's right up Zack's wheelhouse, so go ahead and go crazy with that. The problem comes from everything else along the way, and that kind of sucks. Alone, the premise is very solid. I would watch a movie like that a lot because it's very cool. But you bog it down with characters that are just so cliche and boring, and there's literally nothing to them. Any line of dialogue could be said by any character and it would feel the same or have the same emotional resignation, and that means there isn't any emotional resignation if every character is predictably the same person. They have little moments where there's some semblance of character, but that's not enough to make you go, this is original. This is a bunch of movies you probably had lying around that Zack just worked in to make something. It's cliches galore, and it's really boring. And you know, I wanted to bring this up because I think it's very important. You made a specific statement in your marketing, in your posters, and everything you made for this movie that this is going to be about Las Vegas. You made it very clear that the fact that this is Las Vegas matters to the story and is important to the context of what's going on. And aside from using, you know, like the Elvis song, just having the supposed moments of like the tiger and that crap, there is no reason this should take place in Las Vegas. There isn't any. You could just literally say some rich dude in New York or LA or Chicago or Texas or wherever has a bunker in their basement in a quarantined area with the money. You don't have to make this in Vegas, because when you do Vegas, there's the indication, there's already that semblance in the mind of the audience that it's Las Vegas. Las Vegas is a character unto itself. Play with that character. Don't just say it's Vegas and then not show Vegas. And I get it, it's the end of the world. But show me the neon lights, the glitz and glamour, the over-the-top stuff. Don't just tease it in your opening credit scene and then have nothing happen with it. It's just like you're teasing Vegas so much. You're ready to, you know, like take off the tassel, but you never do. You just get it, the twirl and tassel. You're like, great, man. What a fun thing. What a really good idea, just to show you know what to do in Vegas in your first 5 minutes and then do nothing else with it the rest of the movie. It's just such a letdown in that aspect, and it bothers me because Vegas is cool. Play with Vegas. You could do a lot with Vegas if you chose to, and you should have chose to. And one of the things too that I'm just like, okay, you got Dave Bautista, and Dave has talked openly about like he chose this project over Suicide Squad because he's getting more money. I get that. That's great. He really didn't do that much, which kind of sucks because I want to see Dave Bautista have the opportunity to do more, because given the right script, the right director, the right approach, I genuinely think Dave Bautista could be a fantastic actor. I think a performance like Drax in Blade Runner 2049 shows us he's willing to commit to it. And I think if you just had a little more than just be like the cool dad, you could have probably done a lot more in this role. And I think that comes down just to the way it was filmed. There's just a lot of weak stuff. Something I focus on that I know the majority of the audience doesn't is the cinematography and the camera stuff. And there was a lot of weird choices in here. To me in particular, some of the weird focuses come from the shallow depth of field and the focus. Like the focus sometimes doesn't like pinpoint exactly where it should be. Like when I'm recording this to you now, I have it on autofocus, so when you see my face, the camera should autofocus onto my face. It's not necessarily going to do that all the time if it moves around a lot, but the way that you're doing a professional movie, it should lock on to what you're trying to focus on. It comes in and out of focus at weird times, and it doesn't feel naturalistic. It feels very amateur, and I can say that because as an amateur filmmaker myself, I know what amateur stuff looks like. You're a professional. You should be able to, like focus in a little better than what you did. And it just came very distracting at points. I'm just like, ooh, this scene doesn't look right. Like the edges are like fuzzy and blurred for some reason. It's just like, what? Are you trying to reference like the weird stuff? There's like one scene where I'm like, this is very Apocalypse Now for no reason. Are you trying to reference like an old Dirty Dozen war movie? Because it makes no sense why you do that. You should lean into your camp because that's what people are here to see. Your camp. Lean into the camp. The depth of field stuff, it just, the focus is weird. All of it just looks different. It doesn't feel like a real big budget movie at times. It feels very low quality, which sucks because I was genuinely like, let's go. You haven't sold me on your last few movies, but I'm going to give you another chance because you have the potential to make a good-looking movie, and this just didn't. There were some standout moments for me. I'm impressed with what they did with Tig Notaro. I know that's going to be like a lot of controversial stuff for some people, but they made it flawlessly as possible. There are certain moments where it feels like, yeah, they added the scene in after with that actress. Doesn't really match the way things feel. But hey, it looks pretty seamless. I gotta say, that's kind of cool. You do the classic Zack Snyder thing of a lot of other potential stuff that could happen or be referenced in this movie that go nowhere. I'm not going to get into it too much, but let's just say you can bring up aliens, robots, and a time loop. And why? Why? What's the point of that? How does it help you tell this story you're telling right now? How does the idea that this could be a time loop benefit the entire story we are seeing? If you're going to say it's a time loop, let's see it as a time loop. Don't just reference it. Don't say it's Area 51. Let's see some weird alien stuff. The zombies look good. That's a bonus. Like there's some weird ideas presented with the zombies of like a hierarchy and stuff. If I didn't know the kind of filmmaker Zack Snyder was, I'd say it's stupid. But it's him, and I was like, okay, this isn't bad. It's a standard crap. I don't think anyone's going to be blown away by it, though. I don't. You're just going to be like, okay, I watched this. What's next? 2.5 hours for this. 2.5 hours to watch this movie. That's too long. You could cut a good 30 minutes out of this. Maybe even 40. But whatever. I'm never going to watch it again, so let's get it out of the way. There it is. Army of the Dead. You guys can enjoy a prestigious filmmaker making something that feels like a college student made it. Shot like a college student made it with the ideas that a college student made it. And it's going to be a cinematic universe. So what do I know? I'm just some schluck who paid for it. Whatever. So, Army of the Dead, I am going to give a 3 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, Patreon, Twitter, all that good stuff. And I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.